Bring that beat back. Clap your hands, do the beat, y'all. Clap your hands, do the beat, y'all. That beat, y'all.
Welcome to Beats Per Minute podcast, where we are talking about hip hop, health, and matters of the heart, and they are always in sync. Today is a special episode as we are celebrating the life of my big brother, Collins DJ Ready Red Leysath, and I have quite a few guests with me today that are going to be sharing and joining in on all the festivities. So without further ado, let me start going around the room and introducing folks and letting them tell you who they are and everything. And, first I want to say thank you all for joining. I want to say to everyone that's watching the live, thank you for joining us and just being a part of this celebration. So, all right, I'm going to start with Cool Kyle. Thank you for joining me today. Tell the people who you are and why you are, a part of this celebration with me.
Okay, how you doing, Ada?
What's
up, everybody? This is Cool Start. Yeah. I'm here to celebrate. Good, baby girl. Good. I'm glad to hear your voice, buddy. It's my buddy. Personal joke, y'all. Anyway, I'm here to. Yeah, they don't know. I'm here to celebrate my homeboy, my boy, my little brother, Reddy Red's life and his memory. And I'm here to do that because he meant a lot to me. We weren't lifelong buddies or compatriots or anything like that. But he knew who I was and he knew me. And we developed a relationship down to be, educational. And he was like a sponge.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the guys, the essence of what we created. I am a pioneer. I'm a solo in the Bronx with a record deal. First solo MC to be in a movie. Mm-hmm. Downtown 81. History is there, and Red recognized that. He reached out to me. So anytime there's something about him, because he was glorious, he was a good dude. He had a great heart. He had mad skills, and he was an asset to hip hop. I'd reach out and talk about him.
Well, I want to say thank you, Cool Kyle, for joining, and definitely appreciate you, buddy. Ice Mike, how you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
Okay. I'm good. Welcome to the show. Tell the people who you are and why you're a part of this celebration today.
Okay. My name is Ice Mike 1200. Originally, I was just Ice Mike, so a lot of people know me from the Nasty Bitch record, which was with Plus Down and Luke records back in the 90s and stuff like that. But I've produced so many records in my own city that, it's kind of legendary status. But also just producing a lot of different TV things and stuff like that or whatever. That's been my forte. So, that is who I am. But I'm on here because Red was important to me because just hearing what he was doing with the production early on and meeting him when he was with Rock Lot Records and stuff like that down in Houston. He was just a really cool cat. And I only have been in his presence a couple of times, so I'm not trying to be on here to get into points on it. I believe even that record label success was built first because people loved the song Scarface. Mm-hmm. And that even gave Scarface his alter ego, his second name, and everything like that. You know what I mean? It's not
Mhm.
just Brad Jordan or AKA DJ Action or nothing like that. He's Scarface now because the song was solid in all of the clubs across America and through the South and everything like that. And it was independent. It was standing just as big as all the major artists that were dropping at the time. Ice Cube and all these records. You can mix this record right with it, and it was just an anthem. So that kept everybody in tune to who are the Ghetto Boys, who is Scarface, and everything like that. But it starts with that beat because none of their other songs hold you like that. You know what I
Gotcha.
mean? And that's my opinion. You know what I mean? But that's why it was very special to me to meet Red and the actions that I did see him do in the studio or on the road when we had done shows with him. You know what I mean? It was just like a real cool cat, like accommodating as well as inviting, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, he wasn't about taking no bull either, you know what I'm saying? So it's not just a weak cat, you know, but very, very important to the sound of the South as well as the sound that came from New Jersey to help the South make a national statement across America.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, so I'm gonna kick it to you, Matt, and let you, say who you are and why you're a part, and then I'm gonna go to my brother Swell, and then Frank. I want you to jump in.
Hi, Ada. Good
No
to see you.
problem.
Hey.
Hi, everybody. My name is Matthew, and I'm a good friend of Red's. When he moved out here to the Bay Area, I was fortunate enough to be introduced to him, and we just became really good friends. I kicked it with him a lot every day, and I'm here to celebrate his life. I miss him dearly, and so I appreciate to be here, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, bro. It's on you, Swell.
How you guys doing? I'm DJ Swell. I'm gonna start with saying I rock my brother's shirt today,
Well, thank
and
you.
this hat right here is the last thing he gave me, and he forced me to take it. He said, "Man, take the damn hat, man. Wear the hat." I said, "Man, I ain't gonna wear that hat." He said, "Man, wear the damn hat." So this last thing he gave me, but Red and I met like 1978, when he was, don't laugh, sis, don't laugh. When he was walking up and down the street with, I was fascinated with Bruce Lee. He was fascinated with Bruce Lee. I got some Bruce Lee stuff back here. He would love that. And he used to walk down the street. I never seen a person walk down the street with a box playing the movie. He was playing the Bruce Lee movie. He wasn't playing music. He was playing the Bruce Lee movie and saying right along with the words. So that's how we first started. And then he went on to being fascinated with football. And I'm sure the music was in there somewhere. But then he was DJing and I was DJing. And that was our first click of really getting to be friends. And we were at the skating ring where he was the main DJ at the skating ring. And I was the DJ for the after hours. And we clicked even more. And he just kept telling me, man, one day I want to see my name on a record. I want to see my name on. That's all I want. I don't care if it's a hit or not. I just want to see my name on a record. And next thing I know, he hit me with, yeah, I'm about to move out to Houston. He moved out to Houston, started calling me, sending me VHS tapes of the shows and all the stuff and the cars. And, from there, the rest is history. We had a brotherhood for 40 straight years, man. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah. All right, Frank, you go ahead and join in.
Word. Peace to everybody out there. My name's Frank Holiday. I'm a Philly hip hop ambassador. I'm one of the first from the first generation of Philly MCs. So, with tribute to Captain Boogie and Disco Rat, who started in Philly, started hip hop in Philly, I'm from that lineage. I was fortunate enough to meet Colin a couple years before he passed. We met on Facebook, actually. And just like you, Swell, our thing was Bruce Lee. You know what I mean? We would talk about Bruce Lee constantly. And even to this day, I'm still redoing a movie about Bruce Lee using all his footage and dedication to Red. So when I finish it, I'm going to dedicate it to him and then put it out for everybody to see. But, you know, outside of the Bruce Lee, he was glad to be saved. And he was really, really for the children. And he just got back into the music only as a result to help the children. Because if I'm not mistaken, he gave up on it for a while.
Mm.
So yeah, that's my bro though. Like I just had tremendous respect for him, and you know I feel like he left Ada in my care. So I rock with her. Anything that she does, I support her.
Thank you. Thank you.
Indeed.
Yeah. So before I go any further, again, everyone, you know, that's watching the broadcast, thank you so much for joining in. Please share, you know, like let's like really celebrate, you know, him tonight. So, you know, let people know we on. And without further ado, I want to go ahead and turn the mic over to my big cousin and brother, Joe Robinson. I'm gonna let you go ahead and tell them who you are and why you are on here celebrating with us tonight.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joe Robinson. Me and Red. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Me and Collins. You might know him as Reddy Red. I know him as Red and Collins. Grew up together as like brothers. I remember when Collins first started getting into the rap scene. It was an MC named Reese who used to hang out West Trenton, and he used to go out. He used to go uptown, and he used to get these different rap tapes and bring them back. And we used to get moved by the beats and hearing Cold Crush live in the cipher and hearing Flash cut. And then the DJ scene hit Trenton, and we kind of took a hold of it. And I remember when Red first got his first table, he was having some problems and he wanted to quit. And I was like, no, man, I know a guy who's talking a lot of junk, and I want you to go and see what we can do about this guy. And this guy turned out to be a very good blender as far as blending music together. He was good house music. His name was DJ Quest. His name is Rob Robinson now. His name is Rob Robinson. But we started out together and we became what is known as the Def City Crew. Matter of fact, DJ Swell, I met Swell at a house party we was doing with one of his cousins, Darryl Rawls. That's my first time encountering DJ Swell. But me and Red and Rob, we used to DJ at the roller rink. We encountered Sparky D. A lot of headliners came through at the time. You know, we had Force MDs came through, Roxanne Shante, and we used to really have a really good time. You know, that gave us a outlet because, you know, here in Trenton, things have probably got a little worse, but it's always been a violent place, you know. And this is my little granddaughter. She's over here trying to take the mic from me, right? We got a MC. But yeah, Red was what can I say? He was an innovator. One of the first to use Scarface. One of the first to use Richard Pryor or to use a comedian behind the beat. I can tell you, we could go on and on and on. I could write a book about my cousin, my brother, Reddy Red. My sad, the worst thing that happened, I guess, is the day we parted. He was going to Texas to live with his sister, and that was the day I didn't see Red for about 8 years. And when he went to Houston, he took all that skill and all that bravado and that mastery, and he took it down there to Texas, and He honed his skill and he became
Right.
one of the greatest. You heard with Scar, with Willie D say, a lot of producers, what is eating off Red. So I'm gonna let it go. I got to go. I got my granddaughter with me, but Red will always be in our hearts. Collins' music will always be playing. And you know what? One song I could dedicate to my cousin is "Looking for the Perfect Beat," because that's what he always was doing. Every time we went out to a place, he was looking for some type of music. I'm Joe Robinson. Peace. Next time we can have more. I gotta write it down. I got too much memories. Too many.
I definitely want to you sit down and have that conversation with you because I know that it's a lot, it's a lot there on a lot of different angles, but thank you so much for joining us. And I see my cousin Brian made it in. So Brian, I want you to introduce yourself and let the people know why you're also joining in on this conversation.
Hey everyone, my name is Brian. I'm Red's younger cousin. Just watching him growing up was always an inspiration to me because he was doing something and I could tell that, it excited him and he really enjoyed his craft. Watching him DJ at the Capitol Roller Rink, doing parties and stuff like that. So that inspired me, and I was only like 12 years old. So then I would imitate my cousin Red and other DJs. And I'm like, well, if I can imitate these people, the scratches that they're doing, then I could try something, and it became fun, and, back in the day, going to Radio Shack, and, I learned a lot from him when it comes to, even turning your volume up, and he would always say, you either turn your volume up halfway, no more past 3/4. He said a lot of people blow their systems out because they don't know what they're doing. And, he had a lot of knowledge when it comes to the music industry, songs and everything. We would go to yard sales, and first thing you know, if he sees some records, he there digging through them crates. I got some pictures of him digging through some records, and he just having a good old time, and it was just like Uncle Joe said, there's so much to talk about. But back in the day, Red had this SL 1300, and I didn't have no tables back then, so I rode my bike like at least 5 miles from where I lived at Hamilton Township all the way to South Trenton. And for $48.50, Red sold me that 1300, and I rode with that BMX dirt bike all the way down the road to the crib. And that was heavy, I mean, I was 13 years old, but I was like, all right, I got some of his history, what I mean, and I'm gonna try to do this and do that. I always stayed in touch with him, even when he was in Houston, Texas. One of my friends had this phone card thing, and I was only a teenager. I would call Red from the payphone in gym class, and I had to dial all these numbers, and I would talk to him for a little bit, talk to Bill before, and it's just amazing, just spend time with him because he was a gentle giant, he was just it was just something about him, he had a sense of humor. He liked to joke around. He liked to laugh. There's so much that I could say about him, and he just had this gift, man. Like I let him hold my Roland SLB 92 drum machine back in the day, and man, a month, 2 months later, he gave it back to me. I'm like, dang, how did you make these sounds? But he was just tweaking stuff on the drum machine, and he had this sounding like something that you ain't even heard. And I'm like, wow, Red, he really had some mad talent when it comes to the music sampling, because he sampled stuff. He was like back when sampling probably first started, and I just couldn't believe how he was, he did the Balls of My Word and the Assassin song and stuff like that. I miss my cousin. Like I said, there's a lot to talk about, but I miss him. But he lived through all of us, and I got some archives that he gave me 25 years ago. He said, "B, hold on to these." This before he went down to San Francisco, and he called me the gatekeeper of some of his vinyl. You know what I mean? And still have it.
Well, my co-host has joined the crew. Hello, co-host.
Hi, Mommy.
How are you?
I'm here.
Oh, I'm glad to see you. So again, we are celebrating the life of Collins DJ Ready Red. And the reason why I asked all of you guys to be on here is because all of you meant something very special and also unique in a lot of ways, to my brother and to me. I've met some of you guys since his passing, but we've become family. And I've met some recently, and still feel very much, the love that you guys have for Collins, y'all have been showering me with. A lot of people in the comments, I've had the opportunity of meeting and talking to some of his friends from Houston. And what I wanted to do was I just wanted to see, be able to show just parts of his life, have different people there. And, just to speak to, the different areas and angles and stuff. And so, real quick, I just saw that Rick Miliana has joined in. So, Rick, I'm going to have you introduce yourself and tell them who you are and why you're a part of this celebration tonight.
My name is Rick Milan. I'm in here 75 here. Red and I developed a relationship that became every week current Friday. Go over different, mostly health related stuff, pop, life itself.
Well, I want to thank you for joining in because I know that, you're just getting home and again, thank everybody for just joining in and everybody that's in the comments. And, the one thing that I wanted to do was, one, I said today was the day, but it's actually tomorrow. I think that my mind didn't want to, I don't know what it was doing, but either way, we're all we are actually celebrating the last day he was on this earth instead of the day that he left. And I wanted to number one say thank you again, and I appreciate you guys so much. So many of you guys have been, there just checking in, with me and everything. But I wanted to kind of show people the human side of an artist. I might not be able to do it for, someone like Bismarck or something like that. That's for if I can, I would like to show, like how it, felt for many of us when we experienced that day. I like to tell people, on August 24th, when I got the call that my brother passed away, I was devastated. I definitely knew that it was going to be a lot because we have a big family. But August 24th, 2018 is when I was introduced to DJ Ready Red. I was, I'm 10 years younger than Collins. During that time when Collins moved to Houston and started to, put out music and tour and all that stuff, he would send stuff home and he would be, telling us what was going on. And then eventually, their video is on Yo MTV Rap. The extent of me being able to see what the Ghetto Boys was, but it wasn't until, Willie D actually did the video that he passed away that I became introduced to who DJ Ready Red was to like really always dig into his comments and stuff like that to see who all was there, and he always kept us as the family or the girls more so. Very interesting going through that period of time of navigating losing my brother versus the world losing again. So I don't want to hog up the whole, conversation. Rick, I do want to kind of bring it back to you because if no one knows, very interested and focused, trying to help my brother to get the health care that he needed. And I want you to talk, to everyone about that, Rick, because he's not the only, artist. There's so many first, second generation artists who, are dealing with health issues that don't have the medical care that they need. And so that was a big part of the show, of course. That's what the podcast is all about, is highlighting the idea of the need for more health literacy and equity in our community, as well as in the hip hop community, and making sure that we're doing what we can for ourselves, as well as, actually supporting those that are trying to make sure that our artists are getting the care that they need. Like when you talk about the hip hop, alliance and different things like that. So, Rick, will you jump in and just kind of talk about, that need for more healthcare and everything in the hip hop community?
Well, I came back to hip hop 7 years ago with a goal to try to help the people that I went out to the parks at 10, 11 years old to listen to music to. As we know, artists, whether it's music, except for actors because they have their unions, a lot of people of the arts are scared to go to doctors. And the reason why they're scared to go to doctors is because the way they make their money is through shows, whether it be on Broadway, hip hop music, any kind of genre of music. And
yeah, I just got that.
They become weak behind that because if they tell anybody, this is a dog eat dog world, so and so is sick, so let me have that gig. On the other spectrum,
excuse me.
On the other spectrum, men don't like to go to the doctor. Mm-hmm. Women will go to the doctor faster than men. Why? I don't know. But also, some people don't have the information. They said that there's healthcare disparities amongst people of color. In a way that's true, but in a way that's not true. Mm-hmm. Because by you taking your blood every 6 months, and if you know what blood you take, what you need to take, your doctor, if he or she is a good physician, she'll order it. If your insurance doesn't pay for it, make a payment plan. The worst thing in the world is to wait to the last minute when you have to go to the doctor to get blood tests for something else, and it winds up being something else. Mm-hmm. If tests come back negative after you take your blood, your doctor has what they call the Hippocratic Oath to take care of you as a patient, no matter what skin tone you are, no matter who you are, no matter what persuasion you are. And they're supposed to give you options, tell you what the problem is and what the options should be. So I'm still here. I give advice to the hip hop community. I give advice to families of the hip hop community. I give advice to anybody who wants it. I will be 59 at the end of the year, and I have been taking care of patients since I'm 18. I'm versed in every specialty except for OB and GYN. I know every specialty. I have taken my MCATs. I just decided at the time I didn't want to go to medical school because at that time I thought I was too immature to be a doctor. Mm-hmm. I just was talking to somebody off the train yesterday and expressed to him what I was doing. And he said, so if you took your MCATs, why don't you just go be a doctor? I said, nah, that's too late now. I take care of patients in a different way. And I go to work glorified, happy, I'm not stressed. And I take care of 100 patients a day. There's some patients that don't even come in my building if I'm not there. If you're not here, I'm not coming. Mm-hmm. So I implore everybody to just go take your blood They say physical once a year. You can go to the doctor anytime you want. It doesn't have to be a physical. Most insurances cover physicals. I'll show you a way to get around it. You can go to your doctor and say you got a tickly throat, and I want these blood works taken. Men should be taking blood tests for prostate cancer. I would say every 6 months. They cover it every year, but it should take it every 6 months after a certain age.
Mm-hmm.
I lost 3 people to prostate cancer. Ladies should be doing their mammogram self-testing. If their doctor doesn't show them, which most doctors will, they can go to the American Academy of Medicine for Women's Health. That's a bona fide journal website that the doctors use. They'll show you what to do, self-exams.
Right. Which we know, and a lot of times, and I definitely want us, to have that conversation really soon about, the importance of, getting the physicals and everything done. I think that sometimes, we do still live with, certain fears in this community of, like you were saying, even with the artists, if I am sick and such find out, they're going to try to take my show, or whatever the case might be. And sometimes I think that we also live in denial, or we're hoping that if I just keep doing this, then maybe this will go away, type of thing. And and we have to find a way so that we're getting better results, and that we're getting everybody's getting to the doctor and getting the care that they need. So
Well, can
go
I
ahead.
say?
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think one of the big things that it's not just that we're not going to the doctor. I think a lot of times it is kind of hard for us to advocate for ourselves. So that's another big thing, is how do we advocate for ourselves when we know that something isn't right? Because a lot of times, when it comes to the physicals, a lot of times it kind of does stop there, unless you have a doctor that is like, you know what, this, maybe you should go see this person. And a lot of times that is where like the extra money is coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I just wanted to say, is it's not so much that we're just not going to the doctor. It's also, it's hard for us to advocate for ourselves. And a lot of times we don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm here.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
That's why I'm here. Everybody in hip hop got my number. And if you don't have my number, I'm on Facebook. You can inbox me and I'll call you.
Okay. And so let me just kind of take it back a little bit. And Swell, I'm going to bring you into the conversation. I know that for me, just talking about with Collins, we knew that Collins had an accident some years prior when he was on his way back to Jersey. We know he lived with a lot of pain from that accident. But what I didn't know as his sister, and I don't know if you knew as his brother, that he was having these issues with his heart. And Rick was actively helping him with, trying to get the care that he needed. And I was pretty upset. I was angry, at first when I realized that this had been an issue. As a nurse, the fact that, he never talked to me about it, I get it. He's the bigger brother, always protecting, so he never talked to, Kim or myself about it. But for you, being that, you were there in Jersey, and even Brian, you could jump in, like you guys were right there. Y'all were seeing them all the time. Like, what do you say to people when like kind of like hindsight is 2020? Like, was there anything that y'all were kind of seeing that could have like maybe possibly y'all think like, you might need to go get, checked out?
For me, never mentioned it. So I never knew until after he passed. He only mentioned about the accident. And that's what was bothering him the most, the most when he was around me. Other than that, him just falling asleep, all the time, like in seconds, he would be asleep. But that was all he basically talked about, he would let you know that he can still move if he needed to, you know what I mean? Sometimes I would have to help him sit down, I would have to help him stand up, but that was all he ever mentioned. We did get into a thing of saying, "Hey man, how's your health?" As a norm in a conversation, not every conversation, but here and there, just just to say, "Hey, how's your health?" But he only reverted to the accident.
Yeah.
And my advice is for any brother to continue to do that, and like the doctor said, get your checkups, and you don't have to be once a year. He just opened my eyes to something, because I do have a full physical once every year. Every January I have a full physical. So he just opened something to my eyes to say, hey, you don't have to wait for a whole year. So
most
I will
insurances
definitely make a note to do that.
Yeah, most insurances have that once a year physical. But if something's wrong, your body's telling you, hey, something wrong, go tell the doctor something wrong, because it doesn't become a physical then. I tell people, you want to go check your eyes out, you don't have to wait once a year. You can just say you got blurry vision. The doctor got to see you. They do the same battery test that they do once a year to say you got blurry vision.
And that's important to know, because I think sometimes, we do think that, and it goes back to what Tayrn was saying about advocating for yourself. Like, even if we go to the doctors and they're like, oh, everything's okay, but you feel like something's not right, we have to advocate for ourselves and say, yeah, I don't think it is, can you do some more testing or refer me to someone else or go get a second opinion. I like to, remind people, our doctors work for us. We don't work for them. And so if your doctor is not listening to you, then you should go find someone who will, because it's really important that we have a good relationship and able to have a good conversation and have a good understanding with the people who are providing medical care to us, right? So I don't want to leave Matt and Mike out of the conversation. One of the things and why I wanted such a well-rounded panel is because I know that, as we've been celebrating the 50th year of hip hop, there's been areas that have felt kind of left out. And I think that, sometimes even with doing this show, I have come to learn to appreciate having the conversations with different people in different areas and regions to actually have conversations about how hip hop kind of made its way to their region, or, what was going on in their region at the time, and hearing those different stories so that we have a better understanding of hip hop. And I know that, Mike, you are out in Louisiana. A lot of people don't realize how, especially us that's from up north, during that time when Ghetto Boys first really kind of came on the scene, how major they became, not just for Houston or Texas, but for that whole area that, like Detroit and Louisiana and, St. Louis and all that area. So I'm going to kind of kick it to you and ask you, like, just kind of going back, like, how important was it to have people representing, you know, that area and that region, and being able to kind of kickstart what we now have seen transpire from like the Midwest and down south?
Well, first of all, with the Ghetto Boys thing, you know, by us being so close to Houston, we kind of got that first before a lot of people did, because we were so close they could promote it easier there. And it was just that one song turned, because the Ghetto Boys actually had albums out before the album that had Scarface on.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, as a DJ, we would get the records or whatever like that. And, you know, they was trying like everybody else. It sounded like a demo on a record. You know what I mean? But this particular one, man, it would rock. It would rock every school, every dance, every club, every, you know what I'm saying? This, that, and other. And also to add to what Red did for that, it was the production, the entire thing. I mean, Scarface, he had a cool little story on it, you know what I mean? How it's basically supposed to make man, you know what I'm saying? Just call me Scarface, whatever, such and such. But the way that he used was called breakbeats, which is breakdowns of old records chopped up to be different rhythms and patterns of your own. He do that neatly on his own, where it just sounded like something that belongs together, even though it was not together. And the bass line of that song, Scarface, it came from another song which is at another tempo and everything like this. But the way he slowed it down and sampled it in there, this is before screw music and all of this kind of stuff. But it was so unique that it sounded gangster. And, you know, even once I realized what that break is, and I went back to that record and I played that part, and it's going so fast, you know, just the tune of it is, you know, it lets you know that this is that. But once you slow it down and see how, you know, it fits with the other breaks that he combined it with, it was genius. You know what I mean? And as a producer, it was one of the songs that, as a DJ, I'm playing it every time we hit a club. You know what I mean? So I know other DJs probably felt like that about it as well. But also at the time in hip hop, not very much was going on for the South, because LA was just making their stamp with Eazy-E and all of that kind of stuff, and NWA and all of those things. So around the South, you had, like in Miami, there was Luke and the Two Live Crew, those type of things or whatever. And later on, Atlanta started putting out some independent things that were floating our way, but not any memorable records, you know what I mean? But when they did start to crack open in the late 90s and stuff like that, they also had kind of like that flavor and that influence that came from New Orleans or from Texas. Listen to the group that had Andre 3000,
Outkast.
Right, Outkast. It escaped me for a moment. But if you listen to that, it sounds like a DJ Ready Red production. It sounds like a Texas type of, you know, it's got instruments and stuff like that, but it's also got hard samples. It's using the SP1200, which is a sacred drum machine that has a lot of grit and power to the sound of it. You know, the samples sound like that. Even though you can tell it's records and stuff like that, it has a certain sound to it. And Red was instrumental in bringing that sound to the forefront from the very beginning. You know, once the SP1200 came out, actually the SP12, which was the version before that, all the beats, all the scratching and everything like that he was doing on these records, as well as doing it live too. Because a lot of times when we would do shows, a lot of them suckers was using tapes. That's not cool. You know what I'm saying? And I understand they had a lot to lose because their records was blowing up too. But one thing about the Ghetto Boys and groups like myself, which was with Bust Down and Tim Smooth, the guy who made Mystical and stuff like that. You know, we do this for real. So if it's a mess up, you know what I mean? It's a mess up, you know, and you got to know how to come back from that or die. Because that's one thing I don't like about the DJs these days. It's cool to know how to play music. You can play music and program your playing, the songs that you play, in a sequence that you can keep a crowd happy. So you are playing music, but you're not a DJ, bro. And at the same time, if you're spinning a record back and it's right on time when you finally let it go, and then you're taking the time to spin the other one to the perfect spot, but
Then
you never hear the tempo fall off or shake the crowd with a train wreck of two records or whatever like that, then you're a DJ. But if you all you got to do is press a button and it's right back to that spot and just scratch that. And I've even seen DJs spin around as if they did something, like and then come and press the button and it's right back there. Man, sit your ass down. I mean, that's not legal in the DJ world, you know what I mean? But one thing for sure, I was up there for real. And I know one thing, I respect Red because he was up there for real. You know what I mean? He would have his drum machine playing sometimes and scratching over it, or playing the songs that they had with instrumental versions so the rappers could rap over. And the Scarface song didn't have an instrumental, so he would play half of that song in their shows while they were rapping, and then switch to the drum machine and scratch over it. You know what I mean? So being on time, being on point, you know, the production that he was doing and everything like that, you can tell that he was immersed in being the DJ and the legend that he is. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Thank you. So real quick, we just had Lee Robinson and Esteban Salinas. Am I saying it right? Your last name right, Esteban?
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me? Okay. We just had them join real quick, and these are we got
That's nobody but Steve.
we deep with Houston right now. But real quick, Matt, I want to kind of go to you, and then we're gonna come back to Houston, right?
Okay.
Because I know that the Bay Area was very instrumental in actually helping Collins kind of come back to music. It was like out there in the year of MySpace when he realized that people thought he was actually dead. It was like no, I'm still alive. And and so if you could actually talk about like what that scene was like when he got out there, because I know he kind of got back into music and started doing some stuff with some artists out there and got into that scene too.
Yeah, well, when I forgot when did I meet him, but he got down with a guy named Namaj for a while and did some stuff with him. But I guess when he came out, and plus he did that interview with Metro magazine. And got it with the Trackmasters, who else was it? They were talking about some Bay Area people, but I don't know what else, like what Red was doing at the time, and like what people maybe I don't know if I can answer that question.
That's all good.
Yeah,
can I just say something real quick, Mom? Okay. You definitely just unlocked the core memory, because why did I forget Uncle Collins had me on MySpace? Wow. I forgot all about that. For real.
So we're doing what's that, Inside Out?
Like that is crazy. Cause like you remember that first time I made that MySpace and Ashley had made it for me, and y'all wasn't supposed to know because I wasn't 13. Well, Uncle Collins made me add him, and I wasn't even in his top friends at the time.
Well, I don't think I ever made a top friend. I don't know on his page.
You was on him MySpace?
Yeah. Anyway. we're not going to get into MySpace, but anyway, so we are almost at about 50 minutes. I definitely appreciate everybody that has been able to get on and jump in. Lee Robinson, aka DJ Vicious Lee from the Deaf 4. He is an UPM alumni, at this point, Lee, thank you for joining in on the
Yes,
conversation.
ma'am.
And I don't know where
How are
it's
you, Miss Thursday?
off.
He said, "How
Hello?
are you?"
Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't hear. I was steady running my mouth. Hey, how are you?
Y'all waiting on me?
Yeah, I was asking how you doing.
Oh, I'm doing just fine. Now that I'm on here, with all these people talking great things about my brother, the gentleman from Philadelphia, that grew up around Disco Rat and Captain Boogie. Can't forget about Galaxy 5, bruh.
You kind of got
If you go back to Captain Boogie, oh yeah, he might be muted. Holiday?
I'm not sure.
But yeah, I met Red, Houston, Texas, late 86, early 87. And he come down to deal with his sister. She was having some issues and wanted her brother to come help out. And my brother and I were DJing in the club, and Red walked in with a raccoon hat and a leather jacket that said King Funk Disco on the back.
I remember that jacket.
I was like, this guy ain't from here. Obviously, he not from Texas. So we got to talking and found out he was a DJ, and me being a DJ, my brother being a DJ, we were in a club, so all we had to do was talk DJ stuff. But Red was actually a founding member of Def 4. And a lot of people didn't know that. When we finally got our break to go on to Rap Lot, it was because of Red. We got signed because Red was there, and as soon as the doors opened up, he was like, "Yo, I got to call the Def 4." So we made it on the Rap Lot, and we did a tour and went to Tennessee. All the Rap Lot artists. We didn't do too many other tours with anybody else, but we had a good old time. Red is a crazy guy, but he is the most humble and nicest guy you'll ever meet. I've never had an argument with him. We've always been peaceful around each other. The vibe has always been good. And I miss my brother. I really do. We used to talk just about every day on the phone. In the late night hours, he'd be in the dark smoking them long Newport. He knew he ain't Milan, you know he ain't had no business smoking them Newports, man. But yeah, those are some of my best memories of it.
Yeah. Well, I again want to just say how much I appreciate all of you guys for joining tonight and for sharing, for being a part of my life, and and just that y'all have been in the interim of his passing, and and I truly appreciate you guys. Some really important, people I just want to acknowledge. Thank you, Roderick, for joining in and just being a part. He definitely was like a little brother to my brother. Esteban, I'm glad that you were able to join back on. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a minute to say something because, you know, I met so many people from each other when they realized that they could contact, you know, somebody in the family. And Esteban was one of the people that, you know, immediately reached out to me to let me know, like, you know, how close him and, you know, Red was. So Esteban, if you're able, you know, I want you to just join in and kind of talk about your relationship with Red.
Can y'all hear me now?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, a while ago was a lot of static. There was a lot of static a while ago. How's everybody doing?
We're good.
Everybody's well. Everybody, King Steve out of Houston, Texas. Man, I've known Red for a very long time. Long time. Lee knows. Lee knows who I am, what I'm all about. Been there with him since day one with Ghetto Boys. Did a lot of traveling. Did a lot of laughing. Did a lot of crying. You know, brothers, man. We're brothers, man. He did a lot for me. Taught me a lot of stuff on the road, too, man. They took me under their wing. I was like 18, 19 years old, and I'll be 55 in October. And said we did a lot of things, man. We shared a lot of stuff, and even when he left the company, we still kept in contact over all these years, man. We working here and there. He'd call me sometimes. I'd call him sometimes. You know, that's how we were, man. Like brothers, man. You know. So you know a little bit about what we've talked about. I told you about. And I think somebody else said they got a lot of memorabilia stuff. You know, that was passed down through the years. I got a whole lot of stuff that was passed down from all the boys. Like right now, see if y'all can see it. I got one thing that was made, matter of fact, on August 22nd, 1991. Yeah, I don't know if y'all can see this behind me. Can y'all see this?
It's kind of hard to see, but I see a little bit.
You might know. That's the original, the one and only Ghetto Boy backdrop. I got a big piece right here, man. It's the one and only Ghetto Boy backdrop, and I've had it for all these years put up right here in my house.
Wow.
Like I said, Red was a man. Like I said, me and Red, we go way back, man. Like I said, I learned a lot from him on the road. We were roomies on the road. We did, oh man, like I said, we laughed, we cried, we ate, we drank. We had a good time, man. We had a real good time, man. And, you know, much love to you, all the family. I didn't make it out there when it went down, you know, but I talked to you a week. Man, much love to everybody, and much love to you and my brother Red, man. Miss him, man. Love him.
Thank you.
That's where I'm at.
So, really, you know, big thing for me with doing this again was just wanting to celebrate his, you know, his memory. You know, be able to just even show him as, you know, who he was, and you know, and have all of you guys from different you know, like eras and regions and different parts of his life. You know, the one thing that I learned about my brother after he passed was just like, you know, no matter how long he knew someone, and when he met that person, I don't know how he had so much time to talk to most of y'all. That is mind boggling, because like everybody I talk to is like, I would talk to him every day or every other day or every week or whatever. But I think that as a little sister, the greatest thing that I've gained about his legacy was just him being a really good person, and that I've definitely appreciated. I want to thank you all for all the stories that y'all have shared with me of him, for all the laughs, for those of you that have cried with me, and I won't say who, but you know who you are. Um, but I just I'm very grateful to be able to now call, you know, many of you my friend, and truly appreciate the fact that I'm not the only person that continues to talk about his legacy and talk about him. All of you guys do, also, and I think that it's important because one of the things that I will say, this time is kind of coming up. So we're supposed to, Will. Will was going to join us tonight on the podcast. I know it was kind of crazy for everybody, and it got kind of hard for people to get on. But I do want to give him a shout out and thank him for the fact that he has been also talking about how important Red was for the Houston sound, for Southern hip hop getting on the map. And I think that sometimes we take that for granted as the family, maybe because we didn't get to see that. So hearing the stories and being able to talk to you guys really kind of solidifies that. And I think that as we have seen over this year and going into the 50th anniversary, the idea that so many people are kind of been left out of the conversation that some people feel like should be included, the whole nine. And I think that as I celebrate him, I also get to celebrate what Houston did for Southern hip hop, and that is pretty major for me. And so I kind of take that on, now that he's gone, with helping to make sure that people understand that yeah, you guys, what they did during that time was really important. And where what was it, 96, when Andre 3000 said, the South got something to say. The South was saying something like back in 86, and even probably before then. But so I do want to say I appreciate all of you guys. I don't see Cool Kyle right now, but I want to thank him for joining in and just sharing, with us tonight. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Swell. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Esteban. Thank you, everybody in the chat for joining, and really, truly appreciate it. Alicia, thank you for joining in on the chat. One of these days, I would love to just really be able to I guess put the full picture together for everybody, just what it was like back then with with you guys all kind of in that Rap a Lot family, because the more and more I talk to different people, the more and more interesting it becomes. So I want to one, give a shout out to DJ Black from Too Much Trouble as well. He has been a really great guy that I've been getting to know, and being able to have those conversations about the beginning days of Rap a Lot and everything. And I do really appreciate everybody. So before, I just keep on talking, does anyone have any things y'all want to leave with the people before we get off of here?
We're all on here for the love of Red. I think everybody can second that one.
Also, I wanted to say I appreciate you inviting me to be on the show, as well as I want to shout out to Winston Dramatic, because he connected us. Yes. And Red had given me his number years ago, but I don't just bother people for, so I hadn't talked to him in a while, but we reconnected on Facebook, and that was because of Dramatic as well. So that was good. And also, one reason that I'm also glad to be here is because, I know stories about Prince and Rick James and this one and that one. I mean, from Ella Fitzgerald to, to people now, you know what I mean? So to hear these different things from people who know him, who have stood beside him, you know what I'm saying? This, that, and other. It gives me more of an insight into Red as well, through other people. Because just for myself, I knew just by meeting him the few times that we were in each other's presence, you know, like different things. Man, hit me up if you need these songs, bro. I got these songs. I can copy them for you and send them to you. And this is before the email. This is like when you had to send it through the mail. So like a real good brother, when I say that for real, you know what I mean? I mean that for real. So just as important as it was to me to realize, you know, when he had passed, that man, that's the spirit that left him. You know what I'm saying? That hurt everybody in the world. You know what I'm saying? So for y'all to have the comfort to know that we exist, and for us to know that there are others who have their special moments of different things that you couldn't hear nowhere else but from these people. So I'm thankful to be here, and I'm thankful to meet each of y'all, you know what I'm saying, like that. So, and also continue productivity to everyone here and each thing that you're doing, and as well as what continues the life careers. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll say two things. Is one, I think actually from what we heard tonight, you know, some sort of documentary or movie needs to be made just about Red and his life and how he impacted so many different people, so many regions, and so many different efforts. I think that'll be a great testimony for him because he doesn't get mentioned, in my opinion, the way that he should. That's my opinion. So, but I mean, if guys want to get together and share stories or share footage, I do my best to help Ada put it all together. You know, it's her. It would be her project. You know, and she would have full rights to it. But you know, we all have love for him. There's no reason why he should just go under the radar like he does. Because no offense, if they could talk about Scarface, Willie D, and even Bush with Will, how do you not talk about Ray?
Yep.
That's my humble opinion. And damn, Lee left. I was getting ready to tell Lee he's the only person I know from the South region that know about Captain Boogie and this.
Well, you know, Lee from Philly, lived in Philly for a very long time, I'll say. So I have to make sure y'all,
Listen, make no mistake though. A lot of conversations that happen in the South, Red's name does come up, and it does have a lot of honor.
Yeah.
So I don't want it to.
And me and you are definitely going to, have another conversation very soon. But that's something that I really learned, going through these 5 years is, we're not hearing it up north, but you guys are definitely talking about it down there.
You know what I'm saying? Red, Mr. Mix, you know what I'm saying? These people, they don't get their profit, but let me tell you, you know what I'm saying? When it's conversation floating around, these names is popping out like popcorn.
Yeah, and let me say this, and I'm glad you brought his name up because I want to definitely give, Mr. Mix a big shout out. For those, some of you don't know, but the day that my brother passed, he was actually about to come out. He was supposed to come out on stage with Mr. Mix at a show he was doing in Camden, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Wow.
It says someone is trying to get in. Let me see. I'm not sure.
Sorry, everybody. I got to go. I just came in from 12 hours.
I appreciate you, Rick. I thank you so much for joining in.
I wasn't going to miss this. Red would have killed me.
Well, I appreciate you. And, and thank you, for everything, for the conversations, for checking in, everything.
Always. And I still got Red's number in my phone. I'm not taking it out.
I do too. I can't bring myself to
I won't do it. I won't do it.
We could probably just say, raise your hand
guys,
if you But, thank you. Thank you again.
Peace out to everybody. If you need health care,
everybody have a great evening.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna bring this thing on to a close. I want to thank everyone for joining in. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Esteban. Thank you, Shaquille. I saw you in the comments. He's, definitely been, a awesome person from Houston that, reached out very early when Collins passed away, and checks in.
Very early, when Collins passed away, and checks in.
Just really reached out and have loved, just loved on me and have been supporting, this, even putting this podcast together. It was just, like so kind of crazy. I felt like, Collins was like kind of pushing it because I had no idea. I knew nothing about the King. I knew nothing about BPM Studios when I, thought to make this name. And so to, find out after the fact from, Box that like, hey, that was the studio we used to record our, music at. And I'm like, I never knew anything about it. So I felt like this was him pushing me to do this. So, so anyway, you guys we went over a little bit, but I definitely have enjoyed and needed this conversation, and appreciate you all, and thank you for taking the time out to just join me tonight. Matt, I can't even say enough about you. I appreciate you and everything that you have done and did for Collins and done for me and the family. Always will be grateful, for your friendship and for your love. B, you know how it is, cause like, love you and thank you for everything.
Anytime. We gotta do this again.
Yeah. And I don't want to forget Joe. I appreciate, Joe for jumping in earlier and sharing and Swell, you my brother. I appreciate you. And no, I'm not coming back to Jersey. Let me just go ahead and put it out there. You muted because you're probably talking junk, so that's why you muted.
Man, can we see that that Ghetto Boys backdrop once more, if y'all don't mind?
Which one?
The guy who had the backdrop, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you have to take a picture and so we can really see it up close.
Once you said what it was, it became something memorable. Because at first it was like foggy a little bit because I couldn't really tell what it was. But that's
all right. Well, I'm gonna let y'all actually go back to living your lives. I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all continuously. Lee, thank you for always showing up. Esteban, thank you for always just, checking in and being down for everything. Everybody in the comments, thank you again. I hope you guys will just share this. If you're catching a replay, thank you for watching. We're just going to keep pushing and keep doing, and making sure that we're, here and available for other people to tell their stories and be able to share, about their loved ones that have passed away. That's been in this, thing that we call hip hop that we love, and continue to support, the artists so that, no one has to bury their brother like we buried ours. All right, so
I certainly appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys again for joining in to this live panel discussion. For Beats Per Minute, you can find us on social media at beatsperminute.pod. We'll be coming live every Thursday. So make sure you check me and Tayrn out next Thursday for the pulse check. We'll be checking in again. We're on YouTube, TikTok. You can also catch the audio if you like the audio. Then we'll be on Spotify and Apple Music on Saturday. But I hope you catch the replay. like, share, and subscribe, so that you can stay tuned to more and more of the interviews that we plan on coming up. And, and thank you guys again for joining in.
Awesome. All right, Thursday.
Thanks, guys.
Till next time.
All right. Peace out, everybody.
Nice to see you, Joe.
Peace, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
Bye, Ada. Thank you.
You're so well. Thank you.
Hello, little sister. How are you? Very proud of you and your accomplishments. Love you. Take care.
Thank you guys so much.